So Google is at it again, or more specifically, Google Guaranteed or Local Services Ads is adding more changes or testing new tweaks to the platform. I want to make sure all of my contractor friends don't miss out and are ready to embrace and adapt to the changes that are coming, or at least being rolled out gradually. So this actually is a little bit of a continuation on something that I posted a video about a few weeks or maybe a month or so ago about another feature that is being tested in other areas with Google's AI, where Google is testing having AI, their specific AI, call businesses on behalf of customers to ask questions about their services and so on. That hasn't been rolled out to the masses yet. That seems to still be limited to auto repair and nail salons for now. But back to today's topic, one thing we have seen out in the wild, or at least is starting to increase in frequency, is a new change to the types of leads that are being leveraged or being requested by customers through Google Guaranteed or Local Services Ads. I'm going to take just a minute here and walk you through some of the changes that I've been able to capture thus far. And most importantly, make sure you have a couple of what to do's and some key tips to help make sure that you're able to fully embrace and capitalize and make the most out of what's already coming. So with that, let's get into some screenshots and show you exactly what this looks like, so you're not caught off guard if you haven't already seen this, or if you are, then here's what to do about it. So let's get going here. Okay, so these new leads are showing up as quote request leads or request a quote. So it's a little bit of an evolution from the standard pick up the phone and call or message leads. These are more specifically around requesting quotes. And again, we've started to see this come out to other industries beyond some of the ones that are a little bit more expected in terms of being able to get immediate quotes for limited services. Now that they're rolling it out to bigger ticket items like general contractors or home services businesses that, of course, we all know that to get an actual quote for something that we do, it's going to be a lot more involved than just one text exchange to get something that's going to be useful. But again, we'll get to that in just a minute. So I'll show you a little bit about what that looks like. So you can see, as an example, one of the things that I've been able to find, again, just through what's been published, is it's going to behave and look similar to a couple of things that you'll see on the screen here. So first example, and this is one of the big ones to notice. All right. After someone may decide to call you from their usual search, maybe they search for, again, your industry in your town or your specific specialty in your town, you'll see the different listings, but then there also is a request competitive quotes button. Okay. So someone may indeed call you first. Okay. But after that, they may click on request competitive quotes. So even if you show up at the top, you get the first phone call. Again, it's exclusive to you, just like it always has been if you get the first call. But what may happen next is someone will click on the request competitive quotes button, and you can see Google will then prompt the homeowner to then say, look, okay, you can get up to 4 top rated people who typically respond within 30 minutes. Here's the details. And you can optionally, okay, key thing there, optionally add your email. So you may not always get email addresses with these types of quotes. The messages will go out. Okay. So a couple key things to really pay attention to. Again, speed matters. You have to be responding quickly to your leads in the first place. To one, if someone does call you first, okay, then you want to be the one that responds quickly before these other competitive bids either go out and or get responded to before you do. Or to even be in the game, you want to make sure that you are responding quickly within 30 minutes so that the 4 that Google may suggest includes you. So again, speed as always matters for both sides of this equation. So that's a couple of things of what it looks like. Now I'll show you a little bit more about what one of my clients saw, or at least what I found in his account when I was looking at it earlier today. You can see this is what the lead looks like in the lead inbox. The top half of the screen, that should look familiar. So again, it'll say a quote request is the type of lead that this is. Again, a little bit different. So different from your standard message or phone lead. That's usually what shows up in this section. And if we double click into the lead, you can see again, some things that are different. They're still showing it right now as a message lead. So again, that's another key thing that is how this is being treated. It's also being billed that way. I did some digging, and that's how they're treating it from a billing perspective. So it's, again, same as far as that goes. But another key thing that you'll notice in these that are different from message leads is that you'll have this little section here where there's a prompt that the customer was asked prior to submitting this quote request lead type. It's what's your timeline, and they can optionally indicate. And in this case, it says as soon as possible. We didn't see that on the previous screen, so it's likely that either this was a dropdown that's unique for home services, or a customer may have typed it out. But again, this may not be here. So just something to look for and be aware of. Again, what did they say? But again, the message or the content of the message itself is still something that they type out. You need a quote on either redoing stairs, building a deck in the backyard, whatever that is. Okay. So there's a couple of things that are different about how these leads behave and will show up differently in your account as opposed to some of the others. So what do you do? So what now? There's a couple of things I want to make sure you're equipped and able to, again, fully take advantage of this new change, especially as we can anticipate more changes like it will continue to evolve and roll out under Google's idea of trying to, again, provide better results, better value to its audience, certainly with our partnership and how we're helping to fund that. So this is part of what comes next. So what do you do? Hey, speed, speed, speed. All right. So again, there's 3 elements to this. Okay, number 1, you want to make sure you're super responsive to the first lead that comes in when it comes to you, because again, we want to beat out responding to someone else who might have been also then sent to do under that competitive bid process. So again, when you first get your leads, continue to make sure you've got a process in place to respond to these as quickly as possible. 2, if you're on the receiving end of one of these competitive bids, again, you'll want to be one to respond fast, or at least again, make sure you're in that 30 minutes or less response time to be in the ballgame for the ones that may get that easy prompt to then be selected. And then again, so you can also be the first one to have a crack at booking the appointment and talking to the homeowner next. And then the third part, again, just the speed of when and how you're going to be able to get out there and respond to the quote request and deliver for it and with what you're saying. Now, one thing I want to make sure that we recognize is that I know this starts to look and feel a little bit like some of those other shared lead platforms. So things like the Angie's Leads, the Home Advisor, the Thumbtacks of the world, where it's one lead that's getting sent to lots of different people. So in reality, it's a little bit yes, a little bit no. And here's I guess the big difference that's at least on the pro side of that equation is that if someone is requesting a competitive quote and you're on the receiving end of it, even though it's been sent to multiple people all at once, at least we know from the process that we've seen thus far is that they're at least seeing and selecting your name as being requested. So it's a little bit more personalized. And hopefully the customer will certainly remember. We can hope that they'll remember that you're one of the ones that they reach out to or they hand selected. So it is a little bit more of it's a little bit better in terms of there's that direct correlation as opposed to having everybody just call without knowing exactly who it's going to be coming from. But I know it just starts to reach the realm of feeling like it's a shared lead. So at least as of right now, it looks like they're charging these just like message leads. And we can either be upset about it or we can be ready to adapt and capitalize on it. I'll let you decide which one of those 2 you're going to be. And so to help you make sure we fall into hopefully that second camp, then this is where this next piece comes into play. Templatize your responses. So as an example, okay, let's just find out, let's get really clear on their timing. Even if they say something like as soon as possible, okay, that means a lot of things to a lot of different people. So in your quick response, have a templatized response that you can put either in your phone through a smart keyboard or through an email address, a draft email you've got ready to send out that just asks some things to get clarity on the timing really quick. It could be, hey, thanks for reaching out to us. Looks like you need help with XYZ project. Were you looking to get that done this week, or are you available to have us come out this afternoon? Something where you can really establish some timing clarity right away, and also to get them a response. So we're gonna get clarity for you, and also get them engaged as a second benefit from having that quick response that goes out specifically around timing. The next part of your template. No, let's talk about, I call it MRI. So this isn't a full in-depth exam. It's actually just the opposite. It's minimum required information. Okay. What is it that we have to know at an absolute minimum to be able to give them a quality quote, and at least one that we can have enough caveats or enough carve out so we're not held to the fire for it, but at least knowing some specifics around, again, is it a square footage number? Is it a interior, exterior? What are some of the things, just the minimum bits of information that will allow you to give them a range so you can at least, again, get that quick response. It shouldn't be an answer when you ask those clarifying questions or there's those minimum required information questions. They shouldn't be things that require them to have to think a ton about or type a lot of it, whole sentences about, or have to go out and get measuring tape, whatever that is. All right. We want these to just be simple things that they have likely already top of mind. They can quickly give you an answer. Again, our goal is just to get them to respond to us and be engaged with us rather than having to pay attention to someone else. And then the last part, be human. Okay. They're going to be expecting, and what the bare minimum of what the more common responses I see across contractors, home service businesses is there's just so much of a just give me the information, here it is, and it's very transactional. Okay. This is your opportunity, okay, to be human. To, hey, so excited that you reached out. Thanks for considering us for your basement finish or for your HVAC replacement, whatever it is. Have a little bit of humanity in it. And again, even though it may take a little bit longer to type out, where you can save some time is if you use the quick keyboards or draft messages, so you have that human touch to tell a little bit about who you are inside your quick response. So just, again, you're going to be set apart from so many other people that just flat out are not going to do that. So again, that's be human. That matters. All right. It's going to make a big difference in standing out for something that they can trust, someone they will want to choose and work with for their home improvement project. And again, last part. Okay. I know that even though they're requesting a quote, and of course we would love to just to be able to say, great, let me just close the deal, get someone to sign up right over the phone. This is the very first message interaction. Okay. So our goal is not to close, it's to get to the next step. Whether that's getting their email address. Hey, happy to put together a quote for you. Where should I send that? Awesome. Now that we have an email address, as you saw, we may or may not get an email address or even a phone number. We may just have the name of the customer. We want to get them off the Google platform and into your phone, okay, on through direct messages, through direct text messages through them, or email accounts and inboxes, rather than just inside the Google Maps app or just inside the Google accounts that they're using to send these requests. Okay. So it may just be to get the email address, or it may just be to book and get their home address so you can come out and see them, depending on what's going on. Now, little of best practices, I would say that depending on how busy and how packed your calendar is, that should really be a little bit of a throttle as to what information you require to take the next step. So as an example, if you got a lot, comparatively speaking, on one hand of the spectrum, a lot more room on your calendar than normal. Okay. Just make it super simple. Hey, I can get out tomorrow. What time? What's your address? I'll be right there. As one extreme. On the other side, if you're booked out a week or two or whatever it is, and you want to be a little more selective, or you want to have a little bit higher bar or have your leads be a little more qualified, that's where you can ask a couple more questions just to make sure, okay, is this something I can really get out and do and handle right now, or pass off to someone from my team to reach out, whatever the case may be. So just, again, be thoughtful about having at least one or two versions of your template responses that you can use based on how busy you are or how available you can be. Again, we just want the key is get a response fast, but have it reflect what you're able to handle and deliver. So if you need help with any of this, coming up with a customized plan for what your template should look like, how you want to look at your accounts, are your Google guaranteed accounts performing the way that they should? That's something we specialize in and help our clients with every day, all the time, to really produce tremendous results for their business. Drop me a comment down below if that's something you'd like some help with, and we'll see you on the next one when the next update comes out from our friends over in Googleville. See you then.